I think one of the things that Tyler and I've always said is we'd rather make a movie that like one person fucking loves and the other 9 out of this 10 people in this made up thing I'm talking about don't care about, but like one person fucking loves it, as opposed to like everybody being like, yeah, it was cool.
Anyway, welcome to Scream Dreams. I'm Catherine Corcoran.
The nightmares that shaped us.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had the tagline, or else they won't know what Scream Dreams is about.
How else would you know?
It's right there.
What you are listening to. Welcome to Scream Dreams, the nightmares that shaped us, where we sit down with your favorite creatives and filmmakers and find out what really terrifies them.
Yeah.
I'm Catherine Corcoran.
I'm James A. Janisse, and today we have a hyphenated last name, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin.
Nailed it.
Yes, from Radio Silence.
Thanks for being
Tyler
here.
can't be here, but
Hi,
we're not going to talk about him.
We're dead.
He's
Him
dead
and
to
Chad
us.
are dead to us. It's just you. We were talking about how this is a rare solo interview for you.
It may be like my 3rd or something.
Really?
I wonder, do you guys feel like how twins, when they're growing up, are always referred to as a couple?
Oh,
they
always.
never get to be individuals?
There's people who, I'm not kidding, we've worked with for like months who will say, Tyler, Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know who's
interchangeable. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been a duo? Has it always been?
Since Chad and I started working together probably like 2007, and then Tyler joined the team 2009-ish.
Okay.
And so since 2009.
How did you guys meet?
Tyler and I worked at New Line Cinema together, and I was like the male guy, and he was an assistant.
Okay.
And Chad and I had been making stuff at our office. And then one weekend, Tyler ran into us while we were working on what we were going to shoot the following weekend at the farmer's market, and was like, if you guys ever need anybody to shoot anything, call me. We were like, well, our DP just bailed. What are you doing next weekend? And we've literally been working together ever since.
What was that project?
It was called The Birthday Party. It was like we used to do these like choose your own adventures on YouTube when there were annotations. This 2009, 2010.
The good times, annotations.
Annotations, man. They were
You
the
mess up in
best.
a video, just stick an annotation on there and explain yourself.
100%. You know what? Anything? They were so valuable and so great.
Yeah.
So what was an annotation? You literally...
Oh, do you remember? They were ugly as all hell. They were just like red boxes that you could stick on a video with text, and they could be links. I think later. Yeah.
We used them as links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense for a choose
Because
your
it
own
would,
adventure.
it'd end, and there'd be like, we'd have like this nice title card that was like, kill your friend or save your friend, and then this ugly box would show up, and you'd click one of them, and then it'd take you to the next video.
Yeah,
nice.
they phased those out, I think, with the end cards that they have now.
Yeah.
But those are only for the end of the video.
Yep.
And so you can't have it like, because like I said before, if you messed up in a video, you could stick an annotation on there and be like, oh, sorry, we meant this.
I don't know why they got rid of them. Like,
I don't know, man. You got out of YouTube at the right time. I'll tell you that.
right when it became financially rewarding. You're like, we're out. We don't need any of this.
Yeah, because how long did you guys do YouTube for? What was the channel? It was
Chad, Matt, and Rob.
Chad, Matt, and Rob.
Yeah. We did it basically 2007, 8-ish, I think.
Jeez.
Until the last thing we did, right? Basically when we did VHS.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
VHS was actually a thing we had written for, a version of it was a thing we had written for our YouTube
I was going to
channel.
ask. It kind of seems like it would be linear.
It sort of did. And then Rob of the Chad, Matt, and Rob, he wasn't really into it anymore. And that was when Brad Miska hit us up to do VHS.
Oh, cool.
So we just kind of sent them a bunch of ideas we had already had, and the one that ended up at VHS is the one they chose.
The Halloween party.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so that was a Chad, Matt, and Rob thing that then became the VHS thing. So 2011, 12-ish, I guess, is when we stopped.
Yeah.
Is Rob in that, or like, do you guys
No.
still see Rob or talk to him?
Yeah,
at
we
all?
talked to him. Yeah,
That's
we're
nice.
still
He's
still
actually
buds.
the forgotten
We're
stepchild.
still-
No, Radio Silence.
Yeah, Rob's great. Rob moved to Florida for a while. Now he's back here. He's still a pal.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the video where you guys announce or like hint that you're doing VHS is still online. I think you can
Probably,
still
yeah.
find it, right?
We did like, hey, we're doing the movie, guys. This is
Yeah,
incredible.
that's so cool.
amazing.
To like go back and find that.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
what
it's-
year was that? VHS, the original.
It came out. I think it was Sundance 2012.
Okay,
So yeah, we shot it 2011. Came
Mm-hmm.
out 2012.
that's so cool. And then after that, you didn't want to go back to YouTube. You just want to keep focusing on.
We had always wanted to do movies, and that was
Yeah.
kind of our
way to do it.
Got a toe in the door, and we were like, okay, let's see if we can make anything out of this.
So you said like 2007 or 8 was when you started? So like 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, because I'm coming up on just past year 7 doing YouTube, and similarly, one day I would like to actually make movies, and I was like, oh shit, okay, that's you guys got there faster.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was such a weird transition for us because it never felt like, it's not like we had done like a short and then we're doing like a Marvel movie. It was like it was short, and then the short transitioned into VHS.
Yeah.
And then our first feature, The Devil's Due, was kind of like
found footage.
Yeah, it had like a foothold in the previous thing, so it was kind of like a weird evolution.
Seems like a natural one, though.
Yeah, but that was kind of natural, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you have ideas for films.
I do. My downside is like you guys were making narrative stuff on YouTube, so that lent itself. I'm not. I'm doing like more like review things, so I would have to kind of prove myself in a narrative world, which is where I get a little hung up on. It's like that level of imagination. I'm not quite as good as like you guys with the just like, oh, they're going to a Halloween party, and then you make that an awesome short. Like it's so
you
fun.
could do great.
Have you been to their house though?
Yeah. Well, no, we went to your apartment.
Oh yeah, you were at the apartment. You still got to come over to the house.
Would love to. Yeah. I've seen pictures online.
Oh no, where?
Not to like, I don't know if I'm giving anything away, but like in their house is also where they film their content, and it makes some professional studios look like closets. Like it is so like what we do here. It looks like your kindergarten like finger painting in comparison to like the build and the set, and it's all you and Chelsea. I mean, you have a team around you that obviously helps you, but like the creation of it all is them. I mean, it's more elaborate than some sets I've been on. It really is. Like
I have to have you over for the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm not like, don't sell yourself short, man.
Well,
like I think it really is. So okay, so you guys started on YouTube, then you started making the anthology films, then into your first feature. What was the transition then into the bigger studio projects? Like how did that come about?
Well, so after VHS, we got a call from the producer of Devil's Due saying, you guys want to do this movie? Yeah. And we were like, sure, because again, the goal for us was always to try to make movies. Yeah. And the chance to do a studio movie we were like, oh my God, this was incredible. Like, let's go do it. And so we did that, and that was I think it was like a $7 million movie, which to us, having made the last 5 years of YouTube shorts for like $150 on a weekend, it felt like all the money in the world, to the point that our line producer at the end of it was like, you guys need to spend more money.
Wow.
Because you're making me look bad.
For like, Devil's Due?
Yeah.
Oh
okay. Was $7 million?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Give or take. The numbers always get, there's something, and then you get told there's something else, and you're like, okay, whatever.
And like marketing's not included, and
no, marketing's not. They didn't really market that movie. They were like, we'll just let this one slide. Yeah, and then after that, we went and did another anthology, Southbound, with a lot of the same gang we had done VHS with.
Mm-hmm. Wild.
And then
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, which I feel like is a really like pivotal point for
that was a big thing for us. That was kind of like, when I think we really like kind of found our voice. We kind of were able to do things we had wanted to do. Yeah. It was, for us, that was a big, and we worked on that for years, I think. If I'm not mistaken, like when we attached to it, and then it went through a bunch of different iterations. And by the time it actually got made, I mean, we collectively, us and the producers and the writers, had all been working on it for like a couple years together, trying to get it going.
What was that movie's budget?
$6 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Less than Devil's Due?
Less than Devil's Due.
Damn. How did that happen? Canadian tax breaks?
I mean, we got told really like straight up it couldn't go a penny over. I think it was $6 million. Yeah. Like it had to be like 5999999. Yeah. Because as soon as you tiptoed, and I don't know if this is still true, but at the time it was as soon as you tiptoed over that, then it went up like $4 million, because then everybody's rate went up, and it became a whole other category for everything. I think something to that effect.
Like the scale for
yeah.
Okay.
So it was real strict. It was a 25-day shoot that we needed. We needed like 35 days for, but we did 25, and then we had one extra day. But we were told we can't get this one extra day unless we've got the first 10 days perfect, no overtime, nothing. And then our producer, Trip Vincent, was like, I'm going to get us that extra day, but you guys can't fuck up for 10 days. And then on day 10, we didn't make the day and we went over.
Oh, no.
But it was all great. Nobody
cared.
There was like an unexpected, not even in the forecast, snowstorm kind of thing that blew in. And we were like, this is not
I think
gonna
that's
work.
like something that people don't like realize is like the pressure that like you're put under, like not just creatively, but to like make things in a bubble.
Yeah.
And Barbara and I have been talking about this a lot on the show, but and off camera, like the industry is in such a weird place right now where things aren't getting greenlit at the rate that they used to be. And I mean, this is my hypothesis. Maybe it's like overly optimistic because I also come from this like teeny tiny budget world where it's like, I think those filmmakers, and maybe your case and your evidence to that, will rise to the top because we know how to make things. And so when you give us more, we give you more because we know how to make it for nothing on a shoestring budget, running in and out, trying to get the permit, trying to shoot in a snowstorm and just make it happen. You know?
And you care, you take responsibility for it. Like Tyler and I always talk about, we don't understand how people get to a place where you're making a movie, and like, hopefully you feel really lucky to be making that movie and you don't care about being responsible with it. For us, it's like, we're all in this together. Like, let's go be responsible. Let's do our best work and try not to fuck up. You know what I mean? But when you come from that place of just using your own money to scrounge together whatever you can, you don't have extra money to like do anything. So you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it also is creatively, in our experience at least, the guardrails are actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't get carried away with shit. You're like, well, this is all we have. We have one day to shoot this in this location. What do we do?
Yeah.
What is the biggest budget you've worked with? I'm assuming Scream 5 or 6.
Yeah, probably Scream 6.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Which I think was like 35.
Oh, wow. That must have been insane to work with after coming to these other.
Oh, it's insane. It's all insane. It's like, it's all insane. Like, for us, I think our hearts are still very much in the VHS southbound world of making movies where you get a little money and you get some friends and you all go do it on the weekend, or if you can get off time to go do it on a week, wow.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's like, it's all felt like a ton of resources, which is why I think what you're saying too, it's like you never take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think when you're watching your films, like particularly the Scream films, and we'll get into Abigail obviously because that's also fantastic, and if you haven't seen it yet, you should. But when you're watching the films, I saw both Scream films with friends who are not in the business. So the whole time I was like, oh my God, and that poster there and that over there and that's my friend's this. And they were like, shut up. Like,
we hit movies. Wow.
You know what I mean? But like, I was like, no, stop. You see. And I think it's because like you see the real joy in what you're doing that like you are excited and enthusiastic about it, where you see filmmakers sometimes who take on IP that they don't come up as fans of the genre, or they don't come up like really appreciating what everything is for whatever reason, and it shows in the work because those little not even just Easter eggs, but like joy in the film. I think every time I watch one of your films, whether it's Ready or Not, whether it's Scream, recently Abigail, it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think everyone like you're just having the best. The audience is just having the best time, and that's because you guys have the best time when you're making
and
it.
that's our goal. Like we really strive to try to make movies that people can walk out of and go like, fuck, I had a really good time. That was fun. You know, like that's like if we can elicit that response, we feel fucking great.
Yeah.
And to your point, I mean, speaking of putting like you're literally in Scream 5.
Yeah.
Because we, and that was we called you during post because we didn't actually know what was going to be on that screen, and we were like, well, it could be. Oh, we know what Richie should be doing. This. Oh my God, it'd be so fun. We called James and Chelsea. They can pretend to be, like. The people from that other website.
Yeah.
It was like.
We always just say we're playing douchey versions of ourselves.
That was a wink for those of you listening at home. But I think like also it feels like such a like family experience, and I know we talk about it all the time on the show, but like we were all at your premiere, and like it's like every time something like that happens, it's like a party for all of us. We're all friends, all seeing each other, like celebrating each other. You don't see that anywhere else in any other genre where everyone's just like so pumped for each other in real time.
It's so funny you say that. I was literally thinking about that this morning, and I was like, because I knew you would be here, and I was like, I love, and like we were at your wedding and met you at the premiere, and you're with Spencer, who we've known, we met at your wedding, and it's like this community where you're just like, and then when we were coming up, and it was like we're doing VHS, and so we got to know all those guys, and then for us it's like that family feel. We try to create it when we're shooting the movie so that the crew really can, and if we walk away from filming a movie going, fuck, that feels like a family now, then everything that happens after that, you're like, it's out of our control. Like if people like it or not, we can't help that. If it opens or not, we can't help that, but we can make sure that everybody has a great time while we're making it. And then within the kind of horror community, how you get to know everybody, and it's all kind of overlapping, and it's all so supportive, and it's so friendly, and it's so like loving. And I mean, we were in here doing your podcast. I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here, it's okay. But you know what I mean? It's like, there's just something so special about that. And like I came up doing music at in the punk scene in the Bay Area, and it was
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
It was a similar feel, and I mean, I think, if I'm being totally honest, I think there was parts of that were even a little more like, kind of, they're like cool kids and not cool kids, and you know what I mean? It's like high school, but then again, I was in high school at the time, so that kind of tracks. But I think one of the things that I love the most about the horror community is that it's very opening, it's very welcoming, and it's so supportive where you like, just to use your wedding as an example, we've met people there who we've now stayed in touch with, who we've worked on things with, who we've tried to reach out to be like, hey, do you want to do this thing? It's like that kind of thing. I don't think you see that.
Well, I think to quote the Craft, it's because we're the weirdos. You know what I mean? Like, I think it really is. Like, no horror. We had Mick Garris on, and he said this so beautifully. Like, in horror doesn't get the respect that mainstream cinema does, other than the financial profit that it makes. It is the only genre that statistically does 3.2 times its budget at the box office. No other genre has that. No other genre does that. But for whatever reason, it doesn't get that like mainstream recognition. You never see, you rarely see Oscar and Academy or any sort of like award season buzz around like the performances that are arguably sometimes the most challenging. Like talk about like, you talk about an actor who's like getting ready to do like their award film, and they're putting on all this weight and they're doing all this thing. It's like, go watch a horror movie and watch like what these actors are going through, or watch the you're talking about cinematography. Look at like the complexity of the shots that they're pulling off, but we don't get that recognition. And I think in that, though, in being the kind of like stepchildren of the film business, we end up also rallying around each other because you have to.
100%. And I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think people get into horror for awards. And for those kind of accolades. So there's a purity to it that I think comes through.
Yeah, no one's expecting to make a movie like to get that Oscar that they've always wanted.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even, it's not even like even if you made the best movie anyone in the world has ever seen, it wouldn't get a fucking award. I mean, maybe like Jordan Peele got a screenwriting award, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one
out of like,
and then Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. That's what I was gonna say.
Is that it?
Exorcist was nominated.
Okay, that's good.
And Black Swan is on the border. Sure.
Yeah. Aronofsky always like teeters on the border.
Yeah.
Though.
It's always those border cases too, like Shape of Water. It's like a border case, and that's what they'll reward. Right. But when it comes to like something that's more pure genre, it tends to get neglected. But whatever.
I like it. We're just like, we'll start our own club. Fine. We'll have our own award shows. Fine. Like,
totally.
It is really punk rock. And I think that's like, being like growing up kind of a punk kid myself, I think that was like what always like drew me to it. I mean, we were just at we were talking about Spencer, who's the reason I got to go to the premiere of Abigail, and a bunch of us went to Vegas for Sick New World to support them, and then also because the lineup was amazing.
Yeah,
his team was there, and they've gotten to know all of his friends now, and they were talking about us. They were like, it's this weird, you guys are like this weird little like community, like it's weird, like it feels like the 70s kind of. And I was like, it does, like we're these weird little, like we all just hype each other up, like to no avail. He'll do the music videos, I'll do the music videos, we'll do your films, like whatever. Like it's just like,
I love it,
in the best. I don't know, I think there's something pure about that and rock and roll about it.
Yeah, totally. And hopefully it does like what I know like punk rock did for me, which was it allowed me to see something that I had admired from afar and go, oh, I can do that, which is, I think, the experience a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And hopefully this newer generation of horror filmmakers are doing a similar thing where it's very welcoming and it's very like demystifying. It's not some unseen, there's no like genius behind the curtain who you could never be, I think that for me always just rings super false and kind of bullshitty. And so to see people do things, and I think, we learned this in a big way doing the anthology movies where you're watching people who either are or will become our friends do these things that are really great and then going, oh, I can like learn from that. That's fucking awesome. We can take what like Bruckner did in that thing and try to do our version of it over here. And you just kind of like build off each other the same way bands do,
Yeah. Is that was something I learned at Signal Roll, which I loved. I don't know, you probably already know this because you were a musician, but they don't call, when you're a band that's touring and opening for like a band that is their tour, they don't call it internally the opening act, they call it support for. Yeah. And I thought that was so cool. Support. I was like, yeah, like, so it's like, so for like, they were explaining like Ice Nine is doing their own tour, but then sometimes they're doing support for Metallica. Right. And I was like, I love that. And then like, and like the bands that open for Ice Nine are support for Ice Nine, and then vice versa. I just thought that was like the cool, I love that they call it that because that's what it is, It's really cool. We should call the shorts that play before films and film festivals support. You know what I mean? Instead of shorts, support films. I thought that was like really cool.
What did you do as a musician?
Played guitar very poorly.
Okay. Did you sing or just guitar?
Yeah, I sang. I wasn't the singer, but
you were like backup. So do you still play guitar ever on your own, or?
I play like acoustic guitar, just around our place, just for fun. But no, I don't.
There was talk about you guys jamming at the premiere.
Spencer invited me to come over and jam at some point, and I was like, yes, please. It's been almost a decade. The band I was in did a couple reunion shows in 2016. And so we practiced for a week leading up to the shows, and then we played the shows. And so mine is that week. I don't think I've played with a band for like 20 years, 15 years.
Spencer's always telling me to play with him because like I took drum lessons for a couple years, and I'm like, no, I'm still learning the drums, Spencer. I can't play. You're a professional musician.
We should go over.
We went to their convention, which we still say is the best convention we've ever been to.
Convention? Yeah.
It was so fun. I think also because it's all of our friends. Like that was like the most fun weekend. He played sax with them on stage.
Sax, I have like 7 years experience, and also, so I can play a sax.
Also, someone has created a sidebar song that they want you to do sax over, and we're revamping the show a little bit after today. And I think I don't know. I think if you're down, we gotta get the sexy sax.
Oh my god, I love this.
I feel like I want to see the mashup band that is like Ice Nine, your punk band, and the sexy sax.
My band had, for periods, a saxophone.
I mean,
did it? Very like ska of you.
Were you in the Zootons by any chance?
we were like a punk band that had horns. Like we were.
Oh, cool.
So we would we'd play like hardcore shows like in the afternoon at like a matinee show, and then we play like a ska show at night.
Hell
and not fit into either. Like we weren't ska enough for the ska, and we weren't hardcore enough for the hardcore kids, and it was like we were like in our own little world.
Speaking of conventions, do you ever want to do any? Because I don't think you guys have shown up at conventions as guests.
I saw
we have no. Sorry.
I saw some of your cast is doing.
Yeah, they've been doing them.
I think Sean is repping them.
Oh
Who
yeah,
else had
I
on?
got
Sean
to
Clark.
meet Melissa at a convention. She was my cornhole partner in the
that-
after party hours.
That's a
delightful.
secret. No, it's not.
It was
It's not.
it was so cool. I was like, I can't believe this is my life right now.
those of us who are repped by Sean Clark have we have a cornhole tournaments after
Yeah,
hours.
it was me and her against Tony and Liana.
Oh, fun.
Who kicked our asses, and mostly because of me. I'm not good, so I had to
Yeah.
apologize to Melissa, but she was fine with it.
I've teamed up with Jamie Kennedy on quite a few occasions. He has helped my cornhole skills.
God, I had no idea this.
I think that's the name of
Such
yeah.
a bad name. Why did they name it that? Who's
You can call
idea?
other
Mr.
people call it
Cornhole.
bags sometimes.
That's still not good.
Yeah, all these names sound.
You want to go?
Mr.
iffy.
Cornhole, I have a pickle too. No, that's all of these puns is not working.
But yeah, would you have any interest in doing conventions?
Or playing
I assume
cornhole
you're
with
probably
us?
just too busy right now.
We,
to do them.
I don't think I know. Spencer actually did invite us to do one, but we couldn't do it. And
Okay.
other than that, it was just never come up for us. I don't think we have like any aversion to it or anything. We're just like
I mean, it's a different world, you know.
Yeah.
It's having to be on for all those hours. It's sitting
Not
at a
great at
table
that.
meeting. Yeah, just meeting fans and like the small talk.
I mean,
and
that's cool though. That sounds nice.
It is
is.
fun. It's I find it very validating every time we do it because, you know, sometimes, especially for me, where it's like we're working from home, we're putting this stuff online. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't, and it's like, what's the point of what we're doing? And then you go to these conventions and you meet these people who your work really resonates with, and they'll tell
that's
you
awesome.
how much it means to you. And I'm sure you would hear it so much of people who like just were so moved by what you've done and be able to talk to you about the things that you put into the movies that they took out of it. And it's very rewarding.
That's cool. Yeah, because I feel like we're, you know, I know at least for me, it's like I'm very much a fanboy, like all the time. Like
Yeah.
I geek out when I meet people like I really like. And
Yeah.
like it's I think one of the things that Tyler and I've always said is we'd rather make a movie that like one person fucking loves and the
Yeah.
other 9 out of this 10 people in this made up thing I'm talking about don't care about, but like one person fucking loves it, as opposed to like everybody being like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. James, how much do you love Factor meals?
I love Factor meals because I don't have time, Catherine. Time is something
you
that
don't have it.
it just slips away through my fingers every day, and I think about how much time is leaving me, and I'm like, oh, but I have to eat to sustain myself, and I don't have time to make food.
There's just too many minutes in the day. You're having an existential crisis. You're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it all. And
Exactly, but I do have 2 minutes to make a Factor meal.
to put it in the microwave, it comes pre-made. It's delicious. It's healthy. It's specified to your dietary needs.
That's
We're
right.
both big
And
into fitness.
I've
and
got them. Yeah, my trainer is like, hey man, you gotta stop eating all these high fat things. You gotta eat better.
He's
And I'm like,
eat the Factor meals.
don't worry, I got Factor.
And so it works out. So if you want to try Factor yourself, or if you're just too busy, or you forget to eat like I do, it's like a neurological thing. I feel like I
you
don't.
gotta
feel,
remember to eat.
I know. I feel like I don't feel hunger. This is like a real thing.
Oh yeah.
I think I have a neurological imbalance where I don't feel hunger.
Oh no.
I don't know. It's like an evolutionary mechanism. But anyway, thanks to Factor meals, I don't have to worry about that, about
right.
accidentally killing myself from starvation. I can just use Factor. And if you want to use Factor and support the show, you can go to factormeals.com/screamdreams50 and use the code screamdreams50
Why is it 50?
because 50% off.
That's right.
50% off to get, or no, it's not. That's a lie. Wait, actually, yes, it is. 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. So
Wow.
so it's like a double whammy.
That's
It's
right.
like Scream Dreams 50, you get 50, and then 20. What's that? That's 70, really, when you think about
that's
it.
not math, but but that first one is half off.
It's half off.
Which is great.
So if you want to support the show, head to factormeals.com/screamdreams50 and use the code screamdreams50 to get 50% off your first box and then 20% off your next box. That's code
Scream Dreams 50.
at
Scream Dreams 50. Factor.com.
factor.com/screamdreams50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. Don't starve to death. Get Factor meals.
Do it.
You know what's a nightmare? Dehydration.
Yeah. You know what's an even worse nightmare? Plastic pollution.
That's why we love Liquid Death and their evil mission to murder your thirst and kill plastic pollution.
That's right. Their aluminum cans are as metal as they get. So pick some up today because we all need something refreshing to reach for when we wake up from a nightmare.
It's true. Cheers. I think you and I are both huge genre fans, but have very different tastes in like what our favorite things are.
Oh, yeah?
I've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I want more details here. What do we?
Okay.
I think she hates radio silence films.
Great.
Yes, all of them. No, absolutely not. I like such a huge fan. Like geeking out. We were talking, breaking the fourth wall here. We Katie, who does our social media and also helps with the production of the show, Katie and Tom are over here. Katie also has a podcast on the Fangoria network called Katie Afraidy, and Radio Silence did it earlier this week. And like, we were both geeking out. We were like, oh, we're so excited to have them both on this week. But no, I think you like more slashers than I do.
No, I'm not that big a slasher fan. Unless they're like early, like late 70s, early 80s slashers.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I like those, but I'm not like hardcore about them. You love them. No. See,
you love them. I love them. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell you what you like. No, I'm speaking for you. So I've just noticed that like I love the psychological feminist revenge horrors. I love the fantasy vampire witches. Those are like but I feel like, well, what are your favorites? Have we even talked about this on this?
I don't know.
Let's do top threes.
Oh, all three. Let's do it. Okay,
top three. Wait, I wasn't bringing myself
top
in
two
this.
is
No,
easy
now
for
you
me.
have to. You're here.
Because The Thing and Scream, the original, are top two. Easy.
2022. Scream.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in it. So the third one is always really hard to pick. I feel like there's a big churn because like for a while it was Suspiria. I feel like Candyman's gotten up there on occasion. It's really hard for me to pick a third. I don't know what it would be. I mean, like Nope right now is very high up there.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite of the 2020s so far, just because I fucking love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah.
I love it too.
What are your top three?
I it's more like for sentimental reasons than
Sure.
like anything
Yeah, that's
else.
fine.
It's not
Yeah.
really like The Lost Boys is up there for me. My dad and I watched that together. That's just like a thing. We're into that. The Craft. I'm like.
I've never seen it.
Love. Oh,
What?
Oh my God.
No, I need
you. Gotta
to.
watch it. Yeah.
Everyone's got blind spots. Everyone has blind spots.
No.
All right.
That's true. I just watched
Well,
Batman and Robin for
okay.
the first time.
After
It was a
this-
blast.
Oh, really? Yeah, nice.
After this, we're planning. I'm doing this. We're planning to get together at your house. I've decided I'm inviting myself over, and we are watching this.
That's fair.
Like you have.
I know.
Start with the TV show. No.
It's like it.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Have you seen
heart.
Pledge Night though?
No, that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's why I'm shocked. Okay, because like I don't think there's anything like I could be like, what has James not seen? Like
There's plenty.
That was
Yeah.
like okay. So that and then the third again, it gets like now probably Alien, but then. I mean, when I was younger, it was the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Oh, wow.
For sentimental reasons. But then I also love the original Halloween.
That's a slasher.
I know, which is weird for me. But I think it's just like I'm such a like. It's just so I'm such a nerd, and it's so archetypal for how it shaped like the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think like I don't know. There's like that more recently. Like I loved Nope too. I'm really like I've been raving about this on the show back to back. Both The First Omen and Immaculate. I thought I thought they were amazing. I want to make them one super film. Like I do, like you know what I mean. Like this year for horror has been so fucking strong. Everything I think I've seen for the most part, I've just been like blown away by. I mean,
what's your top three?
Yeah.
Matt?
I mean, it's funny. Obviously, they change all the time.
Yeah.
So, I think Alien's definitely in there. We're calling it a horror film. I always think of it as
it's a horror film. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Alien.
Alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aliens also,
okay,
like,
yeah.
maybe it leads right into Aliens. Like, Alien, the first Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, I think,
Yeah.
probably. Like,
Yeah.
I
love OG Nightmare,
those.
man.
But then there's also, like again, I mentioned Joyride earlier. Joyride was a movie that I saw, when it came out, 2001 or whatever, that I know it's not like got a lot of praise. We talk about it all the fucking time, but it was one of those movies that like for me just was, it was so much fucking fun. And I was like, yes, that. I want that. I want like fun shit.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it's like it's weird not saying The Shining. I mean, I love The Shining.
See, that's
like
thing. I always forget The Shining for some reason, and I love that. Like, I love.
You guys
that
know how divisive that movie is, right?
No.
Like, because I think some people just assume, of course, The Shining. It's a masterpiece. It's great. I feel that way. There is a huge contingent of horror fans who are like, The Shining sucks.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like, do you guys like The Shining over there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But like some people fucking
What's the take?
I do think that some of those people, and I won't dismiss all their criticisms
These
as
people.
this,
Just
but
kidding. We love
some of them I think don't like Kubrick as a person, and specifically with that film, how he treated Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
And so factor that in. But I don't want to just dismiss their criticisms of the film as like, oh, well, you're making it personal. Because a lot of people just find it very slow, which it is, slow paced. But they find that boring. Or I find a lot of people reference the book when they're talking about it, and so because it's not a faithful adaptation,
right,
which King famously,
also
didn't like it, that influences their opinion of the film. But a lot of people just like think that it's overrated, boring, way too long. It is long.
It's long, but those performances.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
More recently, people felt that way also about this. I mean, it's not as recent, but The Witch was really divisive in the horror community for a while,
I
too.
love The Witch.
I love The Witch too. And people are like, it's not a horror film. I'm like, it's
very
called
clearly a horror film.
The
It's
Witch.
that old, like,
I don't know,
just,
like
everything needs to fit in my dumb little box.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yourself.
It's like sometimes you can be like, kind of.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But
kind
that's
of
another one with like the performances. There's this weird, like, this is nerdy actor shit, but like there's this weird thing that happens between like 1600 to like 1910 where because we don't know what things sounded like, we've just decided as a culture that everybody sounds like they're from
British.
Elizabethan
yeah.
you know, and so
I love this thing.
and like it's just like that's not what people sounded like. So what I loved about what Eggers did with The Witch is like tried to figure out what that dialect actually sounded like, and at first when you're watching it feels unnatural to you.
You need to watch that movie with subtitles to fully
but like that's like I just
it.
like talk about like similarly to The Shining, like why that's so like that is such a crazy performance thing to pull off that like it's just the kids in that like everyone talks about Anya Taylor-Joy, who is brilliant, but like the kids in that movie, like everyone in that entire film, it's just like,
man, Anya Taylor-Joy is one of those who like I hope she keeps doing horror movies, because like she came up in them with The Witch, and then what was the Shyamalan, was it Splice that she was in, or not Splice, Split. Splice was something different, for sure. And she's done all the, like, Last Night in Soho, but obviously she's so big from The Queen's Gambit and just like everything since then. I hope she keeps doing.
I am under no delusion, I'm going to quantify this before I say this, that I would never now compare myself to Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm under no delusion that is the same, but there was a period of time when we were both coming up where we went up for 2 parts.
Really?
Yeah, and 2 different films.
Was she gonna get sawed in half?
No, absolutely not. She was not. That's what I mean. I'm under no delusion that was happening. But we went up for 2 parts. And we both were at the final rounds, and she got both of them. And I was like, I might have to kill her. We cannot be in the same room. I'm kidding. I love her. I love her performances. She's an amazing human. I was like, what is this like alternate universe that we are living in? But she's brilliant, and rightfully so. The casting was fully correct. But yes,
I need you guys to make a movie that is just like the modern day Scream Queens assemble, with like her and Catherine and Melissa and
Samara.
Yeah, that's I was like, I know there's another one who's like in a ton of things. Samara, who you can get. You work with her a lot. Like you're already collecting most of them.
I want to see them in like I want to see like talk about the Buffy reboot. I want to see them all taking on. You know what I mean? Whatever monster army you've created.
I have a friend who has an idea about that
Really?
Yeah.
Like
I don't want to blow any of her ideas.
Okay.
I think I know who
Publicly,
you're talking about, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I've heard it. Yeah.
I'd be curious. Well, let's talk.
Let's talk after.
It's a great idea, and it was like, oh yeah, that's really fun, and you do want to see like also Heather like getting another generation kind of bringing them together somehow.
For sure. Well, we have to wrap up kind of soon, but we don't have our side Barb with us today. We're missing her. So our game today. Normally Barbara if in our show Barbara comes from beyond, appears next to you, and plays a game. And since she's not here, our game today is, what is Barbara doing right now in the beyond? And we are going to go around and come up with a hypothesis of what Barbara is doing. And she will tell us at a later date. And
if we're right?
Yeah, I guess. You're going to get a text like you were wrong. It'll be
wrong
at like 2
answer.
in the morning. And you'll be like, what the fuck?
Like, if you're watching this, you can also play along, and we'll have a little. Maybe I'm making too much work for this. Don't hold me to this. I think we should have a contest on the Patreon, but
a giveaway, and if you win, we'll give you $10,000.
Don't say
and
that.
A special guest spot on Scream Dreams.
We don't have $10,000 to give you.
You get ownership stake in the podcast.
You will not pass go.
3 pallets of liquid death.
That will not happen.
Delivered to your door free of charge.
I cannot do any of that for you. However, maybe we could give you some sort of prize or something. We'll figure it out if you guess.
That's on you, man.
You just promised it. It is entirely on you. This show is in a transition phase, and you have just promised the audience.
What's it transitioning into? I'm just curious.
Well, we're
Am I in the worst phase or the better phase?
No, the show will stay the same, but we're revamping. We're gonna have a new studio. It's gonna be a little bit bigger, a little better. Teasing what's to come. It's gonna be really, really fun. Sorry, we'll have to have you back.
I love this. I get to be a part of the first generation.
I know you're the original.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
We'll have to have you guys back in our new space, though, if you're up for it.
Yeah, of course.
We didn't even talk about your nightmares. We're just such fangirls over here. That didn't even happen.
Real quick, do you have nightmares?
I have nightmares. I have anxiety, dreams, anxiety. Those kind of nightmares.
What's the most recent one?
I mean, fuck. I feel like I just had one last night. I can't even remember. But they're always just those things where you just do the same thing over and over and nothing changes. And
are they ever work related? Like, oh fuck, we didn't get this shot.
Not that specifically.
Everybody
no, it's like I have to climb this building and
film.
just keep climbing. Shit like that. Like,
what is like the worst nightmare you've ever had?
God, I don't even know. I had one. I used to have one when I was a kid. Whenever I'd get sick, that I had do you guys know Buck Rogers' show? It was I don't know. I watched a lot when I was a kid.
21st and a half century.
Yeah, it was like that in Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Like the original shows were on TV a lot when I was a kid for some reason.
Dodgers.
I honestly haven't seen it since I was a kid. So I don't really remember the show that well. But like my dad loved it, so I'd always watch it with him. And but I always had a dream where I was like in a crater. I can still picture it. And I was in like a spaceship, whatever the Buck Rogers spaceship was, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. And I'd just be going around and around this crater and trying to get off of the crater, and it would get hotter and hotter and hotter, and everything would be turning red, and and it would just go on the entire time I was sick.
Wow.
Would you
it was awful.
Would you feel the heat and like?
Yeah, and I'd wake up like dripping with sweat, like sheets soaked, shirts soaked, like yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm trying like. I don't know what the metaphor for that is, but I also wake up like that. It's gross. It's like, I'm sorry for you. I only have nightmares. That's part of like the reason we were talking about the show, and that happens to me. I'm sorry, that's disgusting, but it happens to me all the time. I wake up like covered in.
Does it feel good when you wake up though? Because that's
because I feel cold and wet. Like it's like
I meant more like emotionally, but okay.
I'm like, oh damn! It's like adult bedwetting or something. It's awful. No, yeah, I think I'm. Well, what do you do when you wake up from a nightmare? Like, how do you reset yourself?
I usually have that little window of like, wait, oh fuck, that's a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. Like, do I have my teeth? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I had one last night about like my organs failing or something. This just popped into my head. Something where I was like, oh my God, my body's falling apart. And then I woke up and was like, oh, that was a dream.
No, it is. I've been telling you.
Also
your heart
a reality.
Is on the floor. No, just kidding. I didn't want to tell you that'd be embarrassing.
I
you know
appreciate
what I mean? But
the
they've just been like leaking onto the floor this whole show. Okay, real quick. What do you think Barbara Crampton is doing right now?
I'm gonna cheat I saw her posting on Instagram. I think she's in a basement doing stunts.
Oh shit! Can I steal it if it's the truth?
It might not be the truth because that might have been what she was doing like yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't catch the timestamp.
Yeah, you don't
So
know.
I'm just gonna say
reading a book between takes.
What book is she reading?
Oh wow, that's mean.
Shit, I don't fucking know. I don't know. All I could think of are my kids' books right now. So like Super Mario Super Adventures coloring book.
Barbara
I think that's right.
That feels like a Barbara thing.
I think she was working
Yeah.
her way through that one. Yeah.
Great.
I think she is renovating her home. I'm gonna go full left field.
I mean, she's been doing that for feels like a year.
She's taking a break from whatever she's working on, eating a salad and instructing the contractors to change her sink.
Yeah, no, move it over there.
That's what I think she's doing. Okay, we'll reveal on when this episode airs. Who
Cannot wait.
Right? If
Weeks from now, you're just gonna be like, "What the?"
Oh shit. Okay.
Also, so we always wrap this show up saying this isn't so much fun. It's one of my favorite interviews we've had so far. Thank
is a
you
blast.
so much. We wrap the show up always with this question, and we ask our guests what their nightlight is. And what we mean by that is, amidst all the dark, scary, terrifying nightmares, organs falling to the ground, whatever it is, what is the thing at the end of the day that keeps you going, that lets you know everything is going to be okay?
Well, my family, and in a less intense, serious way, music.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, at the end of the day, I usually end up listening to some music.
What's your like go-to?
I always try to find new shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so easy, like especially as we get older, to just listen to the stuff you liked as a kid. And thankfully, I think Spotify and other places really help break out of that. With,
Totally.
like, Discover Weekly and shit like that.
Exactly. And I like to just do like basically like my version of like, crate digging with like Spotify. Just be like, cool, find something I'm into, and then go like 15 playlists deep on like influenced by blah blah blah. Like, find something I've never heard of.
Are you still in the punk realm as your favorite kind of genre? Or
no, I all stuff.
Are you a St. Vincent fan?
I like St. Vincent a lot. Yeah.
Just new album.
I heard about
out.
that. I haven't listened yet.
Yeah.
But
it's good.
What are you listening to right now? What did you listen to last night?
Well, last night sort of goes against everything I just said. I listened to Gaslight Anthem, which is like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
One, kind of punk rock.
Yeah. What's your like,
so against everything I just said, but
liar.
I'm a fucking liar.
the internet trolls are all like, no.
And I've been reading that book, this band, Our Band Could Be Your Life, which is a great book about basically the kind of the evolution of like punk into like the 80s and early 90s indie stuff. But it's like each chapter is like, it starts with, Minor Threat and Black Flag and Meat Puppets and no, Minutemen, that kind of stuff. But then it becomes Sonic Youth and
I love books about music history. There's one about
Me too.
prog rock, and I can't remember the title of it. I can picture the cover though. It's a very proggy cover.
Very proggy.
Yeah, it's.
Tell me what it is. I'll
I can look it up right after this.
I'm like obsessed with it. A friend just gave me the Mark Lanigan bio, which I've heard is incredible.
I just got into, because of Sick New World, Sleep Token. If you haven't dived into them.
No.
Oh my God. Unreal. Like,
Oh,
they
I'm in.
are incredible. Their frontman is this, they're doing kind of what like Slipknot did, where their identities are a complete secret. And they have like, their frontman is this guy called Vessel, who's like masks, like evolves, and like he has this like cool like bloody like choral kind of thing going
I like
on,
that.
and like he like sings at like an altar. It's like very Ghost meets like
Sleep Token?
Yeah.
Oh, rad.
But their way that they like their melodic structure is so wild. Like, they don't really have a chorus ever. It just kind of keeps arcing, and like if you can listen to their whole most recent album, and it just feels like one long continuous song.
That's rad.
It's like, I was just like, they were playing when System of a Down was playing, and I was so upset that I had to choose, because obviously like, I'm not gonna not see System.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
System's
but like
top 5.
like
for me.
I was bucket list. I was losing my shit the whole.
Oh, was that your first time seeing System?
Yes. Oh my
fuck
God.
yeah.
I was annoying. Leah Voicey was there. We love Leah. She's also in the Terrifier franchise. She's amazing. And I was staying with her, and she's one of my really good friends. And we she's not a system person.
Really?
And the whole festival, I was just going la 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 la, like, la 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 la. They're just like, shut up! Like, what are you doing?
I've seen System 3 times. Every time, full body workout. I do not stop moving.
Yeah,
during
and
this.
they played for an hour and a half.
Yeah, they'll play their whole damn discography.
Yeah, I was like,
they've only got the 5 albums, but
like,
I know every song.
It was so
I love that.
So like obviously
Yeah,
like, I was not gonna not see System, but now I'm like, I have like it's I
those
must
choices are
sleep,
tough.
see Sleep Token.
That's why I never do well at festivals. I'm not like a festival guy. I'm always like,
gotta
I need like a club.
Hard.
Yeah.
Also, Ice Nine was playing at the same time as Powerman 5000, which is my Spider's band, and so I was like, I have to choose between the people who got me the tickets and my other this like sucks, you know.
We were at Jazz Fest. This is like 10 years ago now, 2013, and I think it was. I want to say Fleetwood Mac or Billy Joel. Somebody was playing like the main stage and everybody was over there. So I watched like 1 or 2 songs and then went over to the stage nobody was at, and it was Frank Ocean, and there were like 50 people and it was incredible. I was like, this is how I like festivals.
Yeah.
I saw Janelle Monáe at a festival before she was like huge, but
Yeah.
I knew about her because of the Archandroid, which is a perfect album. And like, it was a smaller stage, and she like crowd surfed away to end her
it's
set.
so great.
Just like disappeared into the crowd, and I was like, oh man, I'm glad I got to experience that.
That's the best.
Well, thank you for doing this with us. This has been like
Thank you
so
both.
fun.
It's
so
been great.
enjoyable. I always feel like we do these and it's like just hanging out with our
Yeah.
friends. Well, for
Yeah,
you
I
guys
love
it
it.
is. We don't know. I mean, this has been awesome. People should obviously go see Abigail. It's still in theaters. Go check it out. See it in
VOD as well.
but
Yeah.
see it in the theater for the love of God.
You should.
If you
Like-
can.
Yeah.
Please.
It'd be better.
No, please do it. I will beat this. I don't like saying that. Beat this horse. I will beat this metaphorical horse until something happens. I don't really know what happens. Like, don't beat horses. Just go see things.
Scream Dreams.
See Abigail. Don't beat horses.
Sorry. No, see things in theaters for the love of God, guys. It's how we make our living. It's also how we can continue to make great things and have good budgets to do it. It allows amazing creatives like Radio Silence to continue to make more films. Box office numbers matter, please.
It's also fun with the crowd.
Yeah.
Invite
it's more
friends
fun.
over, watch it with friends.
I mean, guys, we're always in our little bubbles now. Like, get off your screens and go see a big one.
Go find a bigger screen.
Should people like follow you anywhere?
Yeah,
Like,
where?
do you do
I
social
don't really,
stuff? You know, like
not
that?
really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Smart.
We come out of the woodwork basically whenever there's a movie coming out and post some behind the scenes pictures and then tiptoe
back
back
into
into
the
the
tunnel.
nothingness.
Retreat back to a mentally healthy life.
Yeah, that's
With
good.
families and friends.
Yeah, Scream Dreams. Don't be on screens, but also see big ones.
We're
And don't
nailing
beat
this.
horses. Anyway, this has been awesome. If you like us, please, we're doing really exciting new things. Subscribe to the Patreon. That's where you're going to see it first. But also on the other things, the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the Twitter X's, the TikToks.
That was X.
Oh.
Well, Degeneration X.
Ding bells. Sorry, I took
Ding
your
bells,
thing.
yeah.
Ding bells. Do it all. Do it all because,
You love us.
or you don't. That's cool too. Just please do it. Anyway, we're at Scream Dreams Pod. Until next time, I'm Catherine Corcoran.
I'm James A. Janisse. Be sure to leave the light on.
Don't beat horses.
Don't beat horses.
Don't beat horses.
Yeah.
that one just went off the rails at the end.